Today we're going to review what we know about inequalities, and then I'm going to give you some statements where you're going to translate into an inequality, and we're going to discuss that tomorrow in class. Alright, so to review, this statement says that x is greater than y, which means that x has to be bigger than whatever y is. If we flip the sign, now it says x is less than y, which means x has to be smaller than y. And here we have x is greater than or equal to y, which means that x is bigger than or the same as y. And finally, x is less than or equal to y, which means that x is the same as or smaller than y. These are all the things that we've learned already. Now we're going to incorporate those into some statements that we want to translate into inequalities. The first thing we're going to do is try and brainstorm some words that mean the same as addition. So take a moment right now to try and write them down, and then we'll see what I came up with and compare it to your list. Bring your list with you to class tomorrow, though, so we can discuss them all together. Okay, so here's the list that I come up with. We have the sum of x and y added to x, and y more than x. Each one of these is going to be translated into x plus y. Let's see what you've done tomorrow. Make sure you bring them with you to class. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here for subtraction. So try and brainstorm some words for subtraction. Okay, again, here I have a list for you. So we have the difference of x and y less than x, and y taken away from x. These are all going to translate into x minus y. Okay, so let's see what you guys can come up with for division. Hit pause now and then make your own list. So division is a little tricky. I have three statements right here that we're going to use to kind of set up a pattern. So to begin with, we have 1/2 of x. So 1/2 is going to symbolize x divided by 2. And then we have 1/3 of x. That's going to be x over 3. So hopefully you see the pattern here. You can take x and divide it by the number that's being represented by the statement. So if I have 1/4 of x, that would then be x divided by 4. Okay, and finally let's talk about multiplication. What words can you use to come up with multiplication? Hit pause and try and come up with some on your own. Okay, there's not a whole lot for multiplying that we would see in word problems. Some typical ones are the product of x and y, or also x times y, and both of these are going to translate into x times y. Alright, now the fun part. So we're going to try and take these statements and translate them from a sentence into an inequality. To begin with, we have 3 more than 2x is no less than 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and try and highlight some of the important words. We have more than, and we have no less than. Those are important things we're going to use to translate into mathematical processes. Alright, to begin with, we're going to discuss more than. More than implies that we are adding things. And then no less than means that it is going to be that or bigger. So we have greater than or equal to. Now we're going to make sure we translate these together. So more than is more than what we started with. We started with 2x, and it's going to be more than that, 3 more. And it is no less than, so it's that or bigger to 7. So there's our statement. Alright, your turn to give it a go. Try and translate this. So hit pause now, give it your best try, and then check back in with me. Alright, we got some important words here. The first one is going to be less than, and then we also have bigger than. So we want to discuss what do those words mean. Less than means that we are going to be subtracting, and then bigger than is strictly going to be bigger than, so a greater than inequality. Alright, so when we subtract, it says 5 is less than 4x. So we start with a 4x, and we are going to subtract 5, and we know that has to be bigger than 2. Alright, so hopefully you guys learned a lot today. Again, we're going to be going all over this tomorrow in class, so bring your notes with you so we can discuss them and build on what we talked about today in the video. Alright, see you guys in class tomorrow.